All right, it appears there are some quality items available at the Chicago Bears store, and Browns GM Andrew Berry has been the first customer to arrive looking to buy parts for Shedeur Sanders. We got to get into this, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things here as we go to Bleacher Report. Let's take a look at this here. The Chicago Bears have reportedly received trade inquiries on multiple players recently, led by wide receiver DJ Moore. Listen, if he's available, Cleveland Browns make the move. Make the move. You need to get quality players in that wide receiver room. That is an absolute joke right now. You don't have anything over there. That bear is covered over. That covered is bare over there, okay? You need as many quality items as you can put in the wide receiver basket for the Cleveland Browns as possible. DJ Moore is a move that they absolutely should look to make and that they are looking to make. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, team have also called the Bears about Tyson Bagent and defensive tackle Gervon Dexter. Here it says Moore is viewed as available for the right price by teams who are in the market for a wide receiver via trade, free agency, or the draft. The 28-year-old Moore has spent the past 3 seasons in Chicago following a trade from the Carolina Panthers. His production has steadily declined since setting career highs in receiving yards, 1,300, and receiving touchdowns, 8 during his first season. In 2024, he caught 98 passes, but only for 966 yards. And then it says last year, 50 catches for 682 yards were both career lows, although he did catch 6 touchdowns and rush for another. The bottom line is here it says, it can be argued that Caleb Williams provided more with the best quarterback of his career in 2025, but that didn't translate to huge stats, mainly due to the fact that Williams spread the ball around in head coach Ben Johnson's offense. You got to understand, they got Rome Odunze, they got Colston Loveland, DeAndre Swift, the other rookie running back they have a ton of Cole Kmet. They got a ton of options over there. So targets are limited. But make no mistake about it. You put DJ Moore on this Browns roster, he's the best wide receiver you have. Okay? He's the best wide receiver you have. Not to mention the Bears also had Luther Burden Jr., who they took in the early second round of last year's draft. So it's just a ton of options over there. That Ben Johnson offense spreads the ball around, and that's just kind of how it works. Now let's take a look at what was said on the on UCSS. Zach Jackson talking about the inside and what's going on with the Cleveland Browns in terms of this potential trade or this move being made for DJ Moore.
On Twitter, because you got to believe everything you see on Twitter. I seen that Chicago is in talks for DJ Moore. Is the Browns somebody that would think about trading for DJ Moore?
Absolutely they are if that becomes available. DJ Moore's been a good player for a long time. No, I think the Browns would probably prefer younger and maybe a little bit cheaper, but outside of A.J. Brown, I think the Browns are in on every receiver that's available. I think one of the things I feel like they have to do is go add some veteran presence to that. So, depending on what the price is, they might just decide to go for a lesser player. Michael Pittman's going to get cut or traded. There's going to be some sort of shakeup in Buffalo at the receiver group. Maybe Keon Coleman will be available. Maybe he won't be. And we know that Brandon Ayuk is a guy they've chased in the past. We don't know what his situation is. So they're going to be in on that. But, yeah, DJ Moore would be, on any list of 5 or 6 good players because that would be a guy that would come in and add legitimacy to this group.
Harrison and, Marvin Harrison and Brian Thomas Jr. are younger, so they would fit better. I mean, would you give up the late first-round pick for one of those guys?
Chris Olave, go Bucks.
Yeah, that's a good question. Olave is probably not going to get to leave New Orleans, and he's going to demand a lot of money if he does hit the market. Yeah, I think you probably would try not to give up 24, give it back to Jacksonville. You'd probably try to go lesser than that. But the thing with those guys, Bull, is they're still under their rookie contract for 2 more years. So that's very attractive to get, but you're going to pay up to get it. So you're certainly not paying it 2 for Marvin Harrison. He just hasn't done anything. But for Brian Thomas Jr., if they want to move on from him, it's a little bit buyer beware, but it's a guy that makes a lot of sense.
Zach,
Yeah.
I don't know if you were listening when I asked this, but what is the plan? Just in general, what is the plan?
Yeah, so it's a fair question, and I think you could go back to last year and say the plan at quarterback, the most important plan, was made up as it went. And that was quite obvious because they drafted Dylan Gabriel and followed that by drafting another QB, right? This year, I think the plan is to go get Malik Willis, right? And if that doesn't work, then the plan is to trade for Anthony Richardson or go about somehow getting another guy in here to compete. When he talked open competition and, wanting to judge these guys and get them on the field and, basically use OTAs and maybe just the start of camp, he means that. But I can guarantee you the competition is not just Shedeur versus Deshaun. It's either Malik Willis and it's not a competition, or it's Shedeur versus Deshaun versus someone else. And they're out here this week deciding, do they want to be in the Ty Simpson business, the Garrett Nussmeier business? They're talking through trade costs on these guys and who might become available. There's whispers that Derek Carr is coming back to the NFL, right? Nobody knows where Malik Willis is going to go, but the Browns are going to be in on that. And if they don't get it, then it's on to plan B, and that's what they're shuffling through right now. It's just, there's no way it's going to be Shedeur versus Deshaun. So that's what people are talking about now, because that's what was talked about here, and that's who's on the roster right now. Yeah. But the roster is going to get additions, if not significant upgrades, sometime in the next 2 weeks, and then maybe again in 2 months.
Zach, I feel like over the last week, even since you and I spoke yesterday, it seems like you think the Browns are more and more interested in Malik Willis. Has there been new information over the last 24, 48 hours?
No, I just think that the number of realistic teams that are going to go after him is small, and they're going to have a chance. They're going to be on that short list. Now, Will he ultimately choose someone else? And if Pittsburgh goes after him, does he probably go there? A lot of people here are saying Atlanta. He might be ready to move on from Michael Penix. So the Browns are going through every single option. That's what you have to do anyway. And they're getting ready for plan B or C to the pivot. But I think they're ready to make the pitch and make the push. And if you have to pay $40 million in guarantees, you have to pay $40 million in guarantees. He's basically like a draft pick. He's only 2 years older than Nussmeier and Simpson. And he's played in the league, but he's only made 6 starts over 4 seasons, right? He came in as a developmental kid who played at Liberty, who was a multi-year starter but had a long way to go. Tennessee gave up on him. Green Bay took the training wheels off, and I think the light came on. So I think that they view him as like, hey, we're at the 6th pick. Even if we were at the 2nd or 3rd pick, we wouldn't have this kind of option. I think they're going to go try to get him, and we'll see. I think we'll know right away on March 9th, maybe even before that, where he's going to go. But they're going to be on a short list.
What are you hearing about the Browns with the 6th pick? Do you think it's offensive tackle, or is it more wide receiver?
I think it's offensive tackle types. Those guys just got here yesterday. The offensive linemen just got here last night. The receivers are here today. They'll be through the media room and stuff tomorrow, and their workout is on Saturday. So the defensive guys go first here. That's just how it goes. But as far as meeting these guys, getting the real measurements, getting the medicals on all that, and really setting how it goes, we'll see. I think what happened with the trade today is the Jets kind of reinforced the